Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the seventh Aston Villa podcast, where this week we cover Aston Villa's 1-1 draw with Newcastle. I'm Logan, and as always, I'm joined by my friend Mitchell. How you doing, Mitch?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Let's
Not
just
too
get straight.
shabby.
Not too shabby. Oh, all right. Let's just get straight into it then. Sum up the game in just one word.
Incompetent.
Incompetent. Good word.
Big
That's the
word
biggest
for me,
word.
that is.
I was about to say, biggest word I've ever heard you use. I would
I'll have to.
agree completely. It was another. Let's just go through the match. First half, nothing. Traore came off because he fell into the billboards.
Yeah.
Looked like
It was like the first 25 minutes, very end to end for me. Quite one of the most open games I've seen Villa play for a long time. It was very end to end. There was no composure about it. It was just end to end. But I say end to end, it was outside of our box to outside of their box, then back to outside of our box. It wasn't. There was no creativity. There was no composure like in the final third. There was nothing, and it was just literally end to end football. But the boring wise, where there's actually nothing to
Nothing
see, it's just all
happens.
midfielders. Where it's like,
It's all
but yeah,
sideways passing, running 20 yards, and then getting to a
yeah.
brick wall in defence. Yeah. In the second half, it picked up a bit in the last probably half hour, I would say. Maybe no,
Well,
more last 20 minutes.
yeah. Well, I think it's more the fact that like it, the last bit of the match is usually the bit where teams are pushing for a goal, this and that and the other. But still, the final 25 minutes, there was still only. I wouldn't even say Villa's goal was a clear-cut chance.
No chance. It was sort of out of nothing.
I'd say the only chance really, because I'm not even going to class the goal, Watkins' goal as a chance. The only chance really was El Ghazi, where he smashed it straight at the keeper when he was pretty much one-on-one. It was
As per usual.
ridiculous. Exactly. So
We'll
yeah,
come
that's the
on
only.
to those in a minute. As you mentioned a moment ago, Aston Villa, we got a very lucky goal with Watkins. It was a good run by Watkins to get in front of the defender, but it took a lucky deflection and went in. We didn't deserve it. Newcastle dominated, I would say, most of the game.
There's a lot of possession, yeah.
But no, I think they also just did more with the ball. I thought our passing was beyond poor.
Yeah, they're a bit more direct, wasn't they? They're a bit more up front with the ball, a bit more of desire to do something with the ball. I think I've got down here that the first half. I know you love our centre backs, but the first half was the most shaky I've seen them two together all season.
I'd say that throughout the whole game, to be honest,
They're
mate.
both,
I'd say throughout the game.
yeah, they're both there. Like Conser didn't have a bad game. Mings did have a bad game, but Conser didn't. Mings made a few stupid mistakes that he does. It's Mings. Yeah, he like just terrible passes, not following through on the ball, and the ball coming short to the player. Newcastle getting it. Conser, when he does do stuff like that, he tends to be. He's quite like consistent. He's quite. Today he was a 7 out of 10. Normally he's an 8, 9 out of 10. But I think today from the first 10 minutes, I knew Newcastle were going to score at some point, and they did. Unfortunately,
they did. They scored in the 94th minute with a Lascelles good header, across the front post.
Why can't we clear a ball?
Yeah,
The
really,
first thing you learn
should have cleared that ball, and Louise should have marshalled his man better because Louise
exactly. Yeah. To be honest, though, Louise on Carroll, it is a mismatch. That should never happen. An organised defence, little Douglas Louise against 6'4" Andy Carroll. Lascelles. Sorry, I don't know why I was getting hung up on Andy Carroll then. Lascelles. It's just that shouldn't happen. An organised defence, that mixed match doesn't happen.
No.
But first, let's get the first thing straight. Defenders need to learn how to clear the ball. These defenders aren't good enough to play Man City style football where they can pass it around each other and get out. Maybe Conser is. Conser's good on the ball. Mings is on his day. But when you're trying to do that with El Mohammadi, you just need to slog it. You need to get rid of it. You need to get it out of the danger zone.
High as well for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Pressing quite high for Newcastle
Uh,
as well.
and they
many
were
times.
early crossing. They were getting the ball and they were swinging it in straight away. Villa seemed to get a few touches, wait to get closed down, and then try and cross it.
Yeah,
Need to get the
we've been doing
ball,
it the past
whip it
couple of
in
games,
straight away.
especially McGinn and El Mohammadi in
Yeah.
particular. They take
Oh,
a
I think,
touch, get it out their
yeah.
feet, and then cross it to no one. We'll come on to that now, actually, because that's
Well,
one
there's
of the
no one
big.
there to cross it to, is there?
I
We've got
disagree
one
here.
player.
I disagree here. Quite a few times, especially in your first half, we had 3-4 players in the box, and Al Mohammadi or McGinn or whoever target as well has been like it past few games. I don't think a single cross went near a man.
Well,
Quite a
no,
few crosses
even
didn't
the
get past
target
the
cross,
first man.
even the cross to Watkins. Watkins made the most out of that cross. That cross was terrible.
Yeah, it's
If
too
the
low. Yeah.
if the ex Aston Villa defender Clark did his job properly and got in front of the man, then that would never have happened. That
No
goal
chance.
was a Newcastle mistake. It
Yeah.
wasn't a moment of Villa brilliance. It was a
Well,
Newcastle
we didn't
mistake.
have a moment of brilliance all game. The best
No, not all
chance we
game.
had was offside anyway, because McGinn took too long to make the pass, and Watkins was hanging offside.
Yeah.
I thought
But
that the game was very frustrating. Again, we got a draw. I think we're lucky to get a draw. To
oh
be
yeah.
honest, I think we're very lucky to get a draw. There's a few talk. I mean, you're usually the talking point man. I usually ask you in a few moments any talking points, but I've got a couple myself. For once, ignore the eye. I've got a really sore eye. Let's do that. Realistically, what sort of game are we having where Newcastle are outplaying us? And they were. For most of that game, they were doing better passes than we were. They were running with the ball better. And the crosses were better. And their crosses were crap as well. But they're
there's
still
one
better than
reason.
ours.
There is one clear-cut answer to that question. Why
Mm.
was Newcastle better than Villa? Newcastle wanted it more. Newcastle wanted to win that match. The Villa players on that pitch today, I could sit here and name 3 or 4 that could not be asked. Ramsey couldn't be asked.
Ramsey had a shock again.
Louise,
What's he good at?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll find out when. Well, hopefully, Louise couldn't give 2 shits again. El Ghazi never seems to do much. He just likes it when he's got the ball.
And he just
Other
does
than
the
that, he
same
doesn't do
thing
anything.
every week. He thinks he's Ronaldo. He'll cut in and do a
Yeah.
weak P roll of a shot 4 times a game, probably 70 times a season. And I
Yeah.
can't think of a time he's actually scored one.
He scored a few, hasn't he? Which I think doesn't help him because he then thinks he can do it.
For the next 6 months.
Yeah. But it's just one of those, isn't it? It's we obviously need to find creativity and goals from somewhere else other than Grealish.
Yeah.
Which, when Grealish is in the team, great. That's double the creativity, double the goals. But when he's not, we're still not going into games. I put on one of the Villa forums today. I put score predictions. Other than the few foolish fans that were putting 3-0, 4-0, that everyone was 1-0,
Yeah.
2-1 Newcastle, 1-0 Villa. Like, that team, you look at that team and you think, where can the goals come from?
Yeah. Watkins
is a
got
good
how many
finisher.
goals this season? 13?
Yeah, which isn't bad.
But even then, you watch him and think, he should have 20, really. He should have at least 16, 17. Again, that goal, that it was a good save by Dubravka at the very end, but he should have finished it. There was no excuse not for finishing it. Not all his fault. Barkley was, again, as per usual, slow on the ball, slow in releasing it.
Right. Bloody Barkley, yeah? Guess how many times he lost the ball in the first 4 minutes?
Was it 3 or 4 times? I wrote down
4
times in 3 minutes.
I put 4 times in 3 minutes and then 5 times in 4. And then he forgot which team he was playing for and did a great free ball to Newcastle player, which, if they capitalised on that mistake, would have scored even earlier.
Yeah. Realistically, I saw the exact same thing. Ramsey came off, and I thought, thank God. But wait a second, Sanson did nothing.
I disagree.
Did a thing.
I feel that's going to be the next one for me. I like him. I think he does. It does a few direct runs. It does look a bit like when he's got the ball, you think something could happen. I do anyway. Don't know about you, but I honestly think that when he's on the pitch, when he has the ball, I think there's something could happen. He's got this thing about him that I know we haven't saw it yet, but I think he's got this magic about him that once he settles and once he's playing regularly, I think he will be able to create something out of nothing.
I do agree. I do think that he's got the basic ability to, not basic ability, I should say. He's got the attributes, and you can tell that he's got something about him which is better than the average player. I would agree with that. I mean, we're not here to talk about Sanson today, Mitchell, because I want to moan about Barkley a bit more. As you said, he lost the ball how many times? And each time he lost the ball, I'm pretty sure he threw his arms up in the air and then walked back. I don't actually think I've ever seen a player so disrespectful in my entire life.
He just doesn't care.
As a Villa
That's
fan.
the thing. So when he came to Villa, all the pundits were there. Can he do it? Is he as good as people think? He comes in and then he plays well for 2 or 3 matches. Then gets the commentators. He can do it. They're all brainwashed. You hear it today. Barkley's coming on. He was one of the best players for the first couple of games. Can he recreate that form? Couple of games isn't form.
It's a fluke, is what a couple of games is.
I think that if he had the desire and the willingness of a player like Trezeguet, because undoubtedly Barkley has
natural ability.
He has natural ability, raw talent, but he has no desire to use that talent. It's another English player that will go to waste because simply they can't be asked. They cannot be asked to put effort in to try and win football games and to try and be the best player they can be. And it's horrible to see because you've got people like yourself, me, and not us anymore because we've kind of realised, we're not made out to be a professional football player,
A little bit late.
But the young kids coming up and they see that man coming on the pitch and doing that performance
week after week. And getting paid probably 150 grand a week for it.
Yeah, it's a bad example. It's a terrible example to young children. I don't think he should be able to play again. We should send him back to Chelsea. Chelsea should cancel his contract and he should go and stack stores at Asda.
Yeah, if he's lucky. He'd probably still get sacked from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just quickly move on to then. After this, I do want to have a positive outlook on Villa because we've been very negative for the past few weeks. But first of all, it's very.
We will next week when Grealish is back, probably.
Hopefully, I don't think he will be back. I think he's out for a few more weeks.
Well, yes, rehab's usually 6 weeks, isn't it? And then he's got to get his fitness up.
And Dean Smith has been notorious for not telling the truth on injuries and transfers and stuff like that. But can you give me your best Aston Villa player somehow and the worst Aston Villa player? And then give me Newcastle's best player as well.
Okay, so give you my best player for Villa. It's got to be Conte. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't step a foot out of line. He can pass. He can head. He's even started to organise the defence, which is nice to see.
Because he's always been a bit too quiet, but he's getting more vocal, which is only
It looks like McGinn's wearing off on him, which is good. Not McMings, they all begin with M and I'm on very strong painkillers. So, but yeah, so Conte's my man of the match. Honourable mentions. Let's be positive. I think McGinn always tries. I don't think he's as good as he used to be. There's something missing.
Yeah.
Maybe footballers have a bit of luck here and there.
Yeah, I do. We mentioned last week. I don't think he's very good in that formation. No,
he's not.
The pivot, he's not as good in the pivot as he was. I think it was last week or the week before where he was playing a 4-3-3. I think he's a lot better in that system where he can be more box to box.
Yeah.
I think he's playing like a defensive midfielder. He thinks that he has to do these big ranging Pirlo passes, but he can't do them. He's never been able to do them. That's never been his strong point. His strong point has always been travelling with the ball and hard work.
Hard work, yeah, that's the thing. That's what we're missing from him now. Well, I say we're missing that from him. He is still working unbelievably hard. But it's just not as good as he used to be. Where's that gone? Why isn't he as good as he used to be? But that's a question Dean Smith needs to answer, not us. Another honourable mention, I like Sanson. I think he's a direct runner. He's not scared to take players on. I think he's picked up a yellow card in every match he's played,
Yeah.
which is nice to see and isn't nice to see. But yeah, they're my three. Worst. Are we saying the worst player as well?
Conster's my best player as well.
Yeah. Worst player is. I'm going to say El Ghazi. I'm not going to say Barkley because Barkley didn't have much time on the pitch to be considered as the worst player, I don't think. So El Ghazi, because he doesn't try. He only tries when he's got ball at his feet. And that's the only time. He only tries when the ball's at his feet or he thinks, oh, there might be a chance here to score. That's it. He doesn't try for the team. He's not a team player. So therefore, El Ghazi is my worst player.
I had a difficult thought process about this because no one plays 2 out of 10. I would say. I would argue El Ghazi was poor, but I don't think he was abysmal. Apart from Barkley, but as I said, he wasn't on probably long enough.
No, he wasn't on long enough, I don't think.
So I'd probably agree with El Ghazi. I mean, Watkins got a goal, but I've been very disappointed with Watkins the past few games. I know he's not getting for supply, but he should be getting. But even the stuff that he's good at, which is holes at play, his passing has been poor for weeks. He's misplacing passes nearly every time. So I think Watkins is sort of like a favoured player by Villa fans at the minute. And fair enough, he's a massive hard worker and he's going to be a great striker. He's already a good striker. He can be a great striker.
He will be once he gets that support. I still stand by the fact.
Support. It's not the support that the issue was today and the past few games. It's been the stuff that he's good at, which has been poor.
Well, no, because when you do have support, it takes the emphasis off of you a little bit. So 4 defenders, 1 attacker. That's 4 defenders on that 1 attacker. 2 attackers. That's 2 defenders per attacker. It's, as we always say, football's a percentage game. You have 10 shots, 1 might go in. You have 5 shots, 0.5 go in. So it's a luck game. It's a very big percentage game. And if you, like I just said, if you have 4 defenders making 100%, Masia, and you have 1 attacker equal 100%, you've got 4 players, which equals 100% on 1 attacker. You put another attacker in there, that splits their 100% to 50%. There you go.
Well, that GCSE maths has clearly worked wonders, Mitchell. So give me the Newcastle best player then, and then we'll move on to a positive note about Villa for the first time in 4 weeks.
I'll let you lead on that one. So Newcastle best player. Dubravka did a lot of good saves.
He did
make good saves. I think Fraser did a lot of direct running.
And he worked hard for the first time in a while.
He put us on our heels. He made us backtrack. He did a lot of direct running, and he was one of the only Newcastle players that when he got the ball, you did feel a bit worried. Him and Willock, and then that Jacob Murphy, is it, when he came on?
I think it's Jacob.
I know he's a twin, because that Jacob Murphy's a twin. I think the other one plays for QPR or something. But yeah, so I'll go for Ryan Fraser. I think he was the only threat, but the biggest threat.
I would probably agree with Fraser. Maybe Lascelles. I thought defensively he did quite well. He's a solid player, isn't he? Got a good.
But then we didn't really test him.
No, that's true. But at the same time, you could argue that he wasn't. They were marshalling Watkins, Traore when he was on, and El Ghazi and Trezeguet out for game. One point that I forgot to mention earlier, Traore went flying into that billboard. Didn't he?
He did. He really hard hit that billboard.
Yeah, he jumped over the first one.
Yeah,
and then right on the side as well. He could have put his forearms up or anything, but he went right.
Because if you put your forearms up, then
you can go over.
The speed he was going, he'd break it. He'd break his arm doing that. So I think what he's done is obviously moved to cower to protect himself, and then he looked in real pain. Yeah. I hope he's back because he's the second best winger we've got.
Yeah.
behind Grealish.
Realistically, he is. I mean, he's been
Yeah.
poor the past couple of games, but he's the second best. Final thing I want to pick up on, really, because I've not looked at who our next game is, so I'm not doing that.
I have, luckily.
Okay, fine. You can take the lead on that in a minute.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
fine.
want to talk positively about Villa, just for a minute. I just want to talk about Konsa. We say that today he had like a 7 out of 10 performance, which is average for him, below
Good.
average, if anything.
Yeah.
I just want to say, would you argue that there's rumours of him getting a new contract, which is great if we can nail him down for a few more years. That's brilliant. He's only young. His value's only going to rise, and he's only going to be getting better. Would you say that he has to be in the England team come the Euros? On the squad?
I think we've got a long way to go until we get there. But I would say that his current form, well, you've got to look at it. Mings is in the England squad.
If Mings
Konsa's better than Mings.
yeah,
Therefore,
Konsa has to be.
Logically, Konsa has to be because he's the better player.
And he's even younger.
Yeah, and I think at the moment he's probably the second best English centre back behind Stones form wise, because Stones is playing well.
Yeah.
You can say it's Diaz, this and that, but Stones is playing well, except for against United at the weekend. But yeah, so personally, if you go off form and the best players in the position, then Konsa and Stones start for me. But then he likes playing slabhead, don't he? Unfortunately.
Yes. But I think Maguire and Konsa could potentially work quite well. I have a feeling that Konsa's quick enough to make up for Maguire's shortcomings, the same as Stones is for Maguire as well. And I think Konsa offers that stability, and he's okay with speed.
Definitely.
I'm really happy with it. But, we didn't get a clean sheet today, which is a shame. But even so, I say him. We're both critical of Mings, but this season really, Mings, Martinez, and Konsa have been probably our best triangle in defence in 12 years.
Oh yeah, and I think Martinez has probably been one of the best goalkeepers I'd like to say Villa have ever had.
I'd say if he carries on
his day,
he's up there.
Yeah, if he carries on, because on his day, he's a wall.
100%.
Nothing gets through him.
Yeah,
nothing will get through him. And Konsa on his day is one of the best English centre backs.
Yeah,
and then Mings is very physically gifted.
Yeah,
he's tall, strong, he's fast, and he's strong. Where if you put half a footballing brain on him, he's going to be a decent player. But yeah, I think with Mings, I think we're a bit critical on him because in the Championship, and we've came to expect 10 out of 10 performances. But we always know he's got that one mistake in him. But today he had 2 or 3.
Maguire or Stones.
Yeah.
We've always been critical of Maguire and Stones for that exact reason. Exactly, I don't feel safe when a centre-back, especially a centre-back, I should say, has a mistake that could lead to a goal every single game.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think Konsa has that.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so move on to the next game. We've got Tottenham next Sunday, which if Grealish is back, then we might get a draw. If he's not, we're in for a battering. Tottenham are on form at the moment.
The problem being, Tottenham play quite a counter-attacking football. We play best when we're counter-attacking.
Exactly, yeah. So if we turn up and play to them, if we turn up and play to their strengths and we have a lot of the ball, then Tottenham are going to win. But what we need to do is stick to our game, play that fast-paced football.
Yeah, Tottenham defensively. If we have Grealish, as you say, we've got a chance. I don't think we've got a chance without him.
No, definitely not.
No.
I think Bale's just hitting some form as well, which is
Kane's.
We all know what Bale
17 goals, 13 assists.
Yeah, and then you've got Son.
And then you've got Son as well. I think Konsa. I hope Cash is back.
Yes. Well, he was on the bench. I think maybe he was back of his head thinking, we've got Son. Let's not injure him again. Let's have another week of training.
Yeah,
fitness.
I think we definitely need Cash. El Mohammadi, I don't trust him against Son.
Son, bloody hell.
And I would play Nakamba as well, because Kane likes to drop deep, doesn't he? So I'll play
Yeah, he
Nakamba
does.
to marshal Kane a bit and just put the pressure
Yeah,
on him.
definitely. Luis doesn't do anything, so why play Luis? We say play Luis against teams where he can create from deep, but he doesn't. So play Nakamba every match and secure that clean sheet as you will. If you play Nakamba, then you've got a bigger likelihood of getting a clean sheet than if you play Luis.
Yeah.
So if we do, I think just play Cunts all the time, and then maybe
Nakamba.
I mean not Nakamba. I'm getting my
I'll
names
let you off,
terrible,
Mitch. I'll let you off.
but yeah. So yeah, play Nakamba and then push McGinn up. McGings. I was about to say McGings then. God, my head's frazzled. But yeah, so push McGinn
Push
up
McGinn
the
up.
pitch.
And who
Yeah,
you play,
push
Samson?
McGinn up a bit. Yeah, Samson, definitely. The other two is shocking.
I agree.
Ramsey's young, so he's excusable at the moment.
Yeah.
Barkley,
No
terrible.
excuses. No
I hope we're not
excuses.
paying any of his wages.
Maybe 50%.
I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But yeah, it's terrible.
It's too much either way.
Yeah, and then Grealish on the left. Hopefully Traore's fit, and then I'd play
And then
Watkins.
Trezeguet might be okay for a bit.
What to cancel out Son?
Son or Bale or Kane when he drives Chris Wise as well.
Bale will play on the other side, won't he? But the thing is, our centre backs next week are going to be in a hell of a ride because Bale, at the moment, if you're watching him play, like I watched him in the Euros, he came on for the last half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And Bale and Kane, like, so when Kane, as we spoke, Kane likes to drop deep a little bit, but when he drops deep, Bale moves in, and then you've got like Tottenham's right back. It's either Doherty or the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They then push up and become that right wing. So like you've got Kane and Bale up front. And then you've got Son.
Is usually hanging in there.
Yeah, and then you've got Doherty or like Reguilon on the left if Son moves in. Our centre backs are going to be up against it next week, and it will be a real test to see how good Konsa and Mings are.
I'm quite confident they can hold him off enough. And I think maybe actually you mentioned that with how high up they push their wingers, that could allow Grealish to really run at the pitch.
Hurt them.
He's
missed it. Hopefully he's missed it.
Mourinho's smart enough to do what a few teams have done, which is not play Bale and play a more defensive right midfielder. Maybe
so I don't think he will.
Just to chop him down.
So I don't think he will. I think he will play Bale, Son, maybe Lucas in the middle with Kane up front. And then he'll probably play Højbjerg to cancel Grealish with Aurier or Doherty.
Every time
he gets the ball, kill him. Yeah.
I agree. It'll be a tough game, but it should be a good game. Hopefully, a bit more exciting.
Yeah, I like to watch Tottenham play, so it'll be a good game.
Hopefully. Okay then. Thank you very much for joining me again, Mitchell. Thank you everyone who's watching. You know the drill by now. Like, share, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you again soon.